Keanu Reeves has always been known for his kindness and humility, but few people know the story of how a single act of generosity changed a life forever. It happened long before he became a Hollywood legend, back when he was just another struggling actor trying to find his place in the world. What he did that night was never meant to be publicized, but fate had a different plan. It was a chilly evening in Los Angeles, the kind where the cold seeps into your bones. Keanu, still in his early 20s, was walking home after yet another failed audition. His pockets were almost empty, carrying just enough money to get by until his next gig. He had no luxury, no fame, just a dream and determination to make it in the industry. As he passed a nearly empty street, he noticed an old man sitting alone on a bench near a dimly lit bus stop. The man looked frail, his clothes tattered, his hand shaking slightly as he tried to warm himself. There was something about him that caught Keanu's attention. Maybe it was the way he stared at the ground, as if all hope had left him, or maybe it was just a feeling in Keanu's gut telling him to stop. Without a second thought, Keanu approached the man and knelt beside him. "Are you okay, sir?" he asked gently. The old man looked up, startled. His eyes, tired and sunken, held a sadness that was impossible to ignore. "Just down on my luck, son," he mumbled, his voice barely above a whisper. "Haven't eaten in a couple of days. I keep hoping someone will help, but people don't really see me anymore." Keanu felt a lump in his throat. He knew what it was like to struggle. Just a few years ago, he had been sleeping on a friend's couch, using every dime he had to attend acting classes. He wasn't in a much better position now, but something inside him refused to walk away. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the only bill he had left, a single, crumpled $20 note. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. "Hey," he said, pressing it into the man's hand. "Get yourself something warm to eat." The man's eyes widened in disbelief. "Son, I can't take this. You look like you need it too." Keanu just smiled. "I'll be fine. Just promise me you'll eat something good, okay?" Tears welled up in the man's eyes as he clutched the bill tightly. "You don't know what this means to me." Keanu gave the man a pat on the shoulder before standing up. "Take care, sir." And with that, he walked away, disappearing into the night, thinking little of the moment, unaware that he had just changed a life forever. The old man sat there for a long time, staring at the bill in his hands. It was more than money. It was a sign that he wasn't invisible, that someone still cared. With newfound hope, he made his way to a nearby diner and ordered the first hot meal he had eaten in days. As he ate, he made a silent vow to himself. He would find a way to get back on his feet. Time passed, and Keanu's career started to take off. Auditions turned into roles, and roles turned into opportunities. He starred in blockbuster movies, earned millions, and quickly became a household name. Despite the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, Keanu never lost the humility that had defined him when he was just another unknown actor. He didn't buy extravagant homes or live a life of excess. Instead, he continued to live modestly, preferring simplicity to fame. His authenticity was what his fans loved most about him. Keanu kept a low profile and often spent time volunteering at shelters, contributing to causes he cared about, but his generosity went largely unnoticed by the public. To him, it wasn't about accolades or recognition. It was about doing what was right. When Keanu found time, he would walk through the city's rougher neighborhoods, offering comfort to the homeless, donating anonymously, and speaking to people who were trying to get their lives back together. One evening, Keanu attended a charity gala dedicated to helping the homeless. He had always supported causes like these, quietly donating and advocating for those in need. As he mingled with guests, a well-dressed man approached him with a familiar smile. "Keanu Reeves, it's an honor to meet you," he said, shaking Keanu's hand firmly. Keanu smiled warmly. "Nice to meet you too." The man studied him for a moment before saying, "I doubt you remember me, but I remember you." Keanu raised an eyebrow. "Oh." The man nodded. "Many years ago, a young man gave me his last $20 when I was homeless. That young man was you." Keanu's eyes widened as the memory of that cold night came rushing back. "That was you?" The man chuckled, his eyes glistening. "Yes. That night, I bought a hot meal for the first time in days. And more than that, I found hope again. Your kindness made me believe in people again. I promised myself I wouldn't waste that second chance." Keanu was speechless. What happened after that? The man took a deep breath. "I checked into a shelter the next morning. I got help. I found a job. Worked my way up. Now, I run this foundation. We've helped thousands of homeless people get back on their feet. And it all started because of you." Keanu felt his chest tighten. He had always believed in kindness, but he never imagined that a single $20 bill could ripple out into something so powerful. The man patted Keanu's shoulder. "I've been waiting years to find you and tell you this. So, thank you for seeing me when no one else did." Keanu smiled, shaking his head humbly. "You did all the hard work. I just gave you a little push." The two men embraced, and at that moment, it wasn't about celebrity status or success. It was about two human beings connected by a single act of kindness that changed the course of a life. Keanu never talked about that night in interviews. He didn't boast about the kindness he had shown, because for him, helping others wasn't about recognition. It was just the right thing to do. That night, as Keanu walked away from the gala, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He decided to contribute more actively to the foundation, not just as a donor but as a volunteer. Over the next several months, he visited shelters, spoke with people who had lost their way, and shared his own struggles. He knew what it felt like to be overlooked, to be dismissed, and he wanted to make sure that fewer people felt that way. One evening, as Keanu sat among a group of people at the foundation, he listened to their stories. A woman, once a successful business executive, had lost everything after an unexpected tragedy. A young man, abandoned by his family, had been living on the streets since he was 16. An elderly veteran, struggling with PTSD, had found solace and companionship through the Foundation's outreach programs. Each story reminded him why this work mattered. At one point, a young girl approached Keanu shyly. She was no older than 10, her clothes slightly worn but her eyes filled with curiosity. "Are you really the man from the movies?" she asked. Keanu chuckled. "I guess so." She smiled. "My mom says you helped Mr. Daniels when he was homeless. She said you're a real-life hero." Keanu shook his head. "No, I'm just someone who believes that we should all help each other." The little girl reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, crumpled dollar bill. "I want to help too," she said, handing it to him. Keanu looked at the bill, then at the girl, his heart swelling. This is the most generous gift anyone could give," he said. And in that moment, he knew kindness was contagious, and the world was just a little bit better because of it.